Um, I worked on the TV show Southland, director Christopher Sholak, season 1, season 2, and I co-starred in season 3. I've also worked on Luck, um, featured on the motion picture Rampart, director Oren Moverman, and this movie that I'm coming out is called A Better Life by director Chris Weitz.
Okay. And your training?
My training, I've currently been training at the Aaron Spicer Acting Studio. I've been there going on 4 months, and prior to that, the last year and a half, I was training at the Hollywood Film Acting Academy.
Okay. Can I see the side of you, please?
Right.
Can you look up, please? Can you look forward towards camera? Can I see the other side? Can you look up? Look towards the camera. To the back of you. Give him a big Colgate smile. Cool.
Good?
Richard, when he came out of jail the first time in prison, was it the first time or the last time? Oh, it was the second time because then Homeboys came in. Okay, so the first time he was in prison, he comes out about, I think, October 19th, December 27th, he goes right back. A year and a half later, he comes out. So, by the way, Richard doesn't even mess around. He's right to temporary work, goes to the East LA College, goes to GR just to make sure, you know, if whatever he's not making, everything takes care of. And then he was working this temp job. And in this temp job, they were, what I'm understanding, they had like this big, massive, like either sofa, just a big furniture, and they had to just move and move and move and move. And it was backbreaking. And at one time he almost missed something, and you know, it was just temporary work. So he was every day going over there, and then one day, and then he applied for East LA College. And I think he had some classes, and so he was going to do that full time and still do this so he could make money. And I'm trying to think if he came out from the bus, so we were right there by Beverly and Norwalk, and I had to put gas. So I meet you at Valero. So there we are at Valero, a gas station. And he's looking at me, and he's standing there, and he's like, Mom. And I'm like, what's wrong, Ricardo? I knew there was something's up with Richard. And he's just like standing there, and he's like, you know, Mom, I can't do this anymore. That was the first time, Louis, that I could actually say that I didn't even know what to say, because Richard has never, he's always just, he's upgoing, you know, he's keep going. I mean, you know, just a mover, just never stops. And he's standing there, and he's like, and even his shoulders were like down, and he's like, I can't do this anymore, Mom. He's like, I want to go to school, Mom. I can't concentrate. He's like, it's breaking my back here, Mom. You know, trying to, work. He's like, I don't have enough money for this, Mom. I don't have enough money for this, and looking at him so, and his eyes were watered. Didn't cry, just sad, and I had nothing to say to him, and I just, in my mind's moving fast, like, Lord, help me say something to him, Lord, help me say something, anything, Lord. I was just doing that in my mind, and I'm looking, I said, Mijo, and then all that came out, and obviously it was God. I said, call your dad, Richard, do me a favor, Mijo, call your father right now, just call him and see what he tells you. And I go, and that was kind of it, I didn't, nothing more, nothing add. It was nothing for me to say. There was not the moment, And he's like, all right, Mom. So he leaves on the bus. We just met. He just wanted to meet me. Weird, just meet. So he takes off. I leave. And then about an hour later, the real Richard came out. Mom, I just talked to my dad. And you know what he told me? And I'm listening to this. Could have easily said that, but it wasn't the right time for me to be talking. It was just shut your mouth and let someone else say. So, and funny thing that I felt, I just want to say something. I know it's about Richard, but I felt for the first time, I think I even started becoming wiser. There was things that I couldn't do for Richard, and I had to accept that, and I've always wanted to be in control. And in my control, I did what I wanted, not caring about anything else, my way. And it wasn't always that, you know? So Richard calls him and he says, Mom, my dad says to, I shouldn't have to worry about school right now. School's always going to be there. That I just got to get a job. And you know what? I'm going to go to Homeboys. Interesting about Homeboys because he had gotten a call. He went down there, but they said to come back. I'm just going to go down there. I said, all right, mijo, so you feel better? He goes, yeah, I feel better, Mom. I said, you know, I was like, what are you going to do? And I didn't want, because he wanted to go back. Backtrack. He wanted to go back to jail. And don't go back. You know, what do you say? You know, the thing that you were trying to get out, just go back and just take it all because it's easier, you know. So yeah, that was a major turning point for Richard. I know, it was for me.
People go there with good intentions. Whatever they do on their own time is on their own time, you know. But I mean, their intentions is to really start a foundation, you know, and just that alone is good, you know, from the lifestyle that we came from. Like fuck, you gotta start somewhere. Just cause you guys didn't, you know, just cause you guys just got handed everything or whatever the reason why you are where you're at. We didn't get, like, people actually had fucked up childhoods, and but now there's a process though, right? Besides that, there's a process you gotta go through. It's drug testing. It's the drug testing. Well, first, Father G, from my understanding, well, he has to just give you the blessing. Then from there on, you got to go to the drug testing. You got to pass the drug testing. From the drug testing is a pre-orientation, and after that, you got to go sit in front of the panel, which you guys have you discuss what you're gonna do at Homeboys, what are your plans for the future, and after that, you know, if they decide to hire you and they see that your intentions are real, then after that, then you get hired. But it's not, but I guess they also follow through. Like, if you're saying, because they don't want to know about just okay, I just want to have a job. Like, what else? Like, you're at Homeboys for a reason. Like, you're gonna have a job, and then what? Are you gonna go to school? Are you gonna be into film? What do you want to do? Like, whatever you want to pursue, they'll help you pursue. But you gotta you know, go at it. You know, like, you go at it and pursue it, and if you're not doing it, then you didn't come with your half of the deal. So I mean, obviously this ain't the place for you if you don't want to help yourself.
Oh, Richard, especially when it comes to stuff like that, you know, I'm an artist myself, so yeah, he would you know, tell me right away, Mom, I'm gonna go to this. Like, it's great, Ricardo. You know, I mean, I know I'm not those kind of parents like you said. You're gonna do that? You know, I don't do that. I don't. Someone's excited about saying, you know, no, I wouldn't do that. So yeah, he told me about Central Casting and that he was just gonna go for an extra. He says, I go, how exciting, you know. So yeah, he did tell me. He was gonna apply the whole thing, and Homeboys was gonna, you know, he can go down there. So that was exciting for him. But I do know that when Richard was there, I know that his whole world just like, whoa, what's this? You know, wow, you know, here you're on set, you know, and it was a world that he didn't know about. You know, and so just as an extra, but as my son is, you know, he always goes further than that, you know, and his mind just like, whew, you know, and so I know that when he came back, he says, Mom, I'm going to do this, you know, because I didn't understand at the time what it was. I mean, I knew it was an extra, but, you know, extras on, because you say that on TV, but I don't know what that is. I mean, I know now, you know, you get paid here, you know, whatever. So I didn't, so when they asked him to come back again, it was just to, you know, the person that he was, they wanted him there. Yeah, that was that was cool.
Filming didn't happen till I paroled this time though. But I gotta give the credit. It came from Homeboy Industries, you know, where that's my present job, you know, where I've been working since I paroled, you know, which I honestly feel is my foundation, you know, from staying out so long from you know, but especially from making that transition to film. So Homeboys had a thing going on with extras, okay, because as you see, as you always seen, you know, Hollywood loves the image of the thugs, the gang members, the mafiosos, you know, and they try to snatch that image, you know. So what better place to get the image of a gang member than Homeboy Industries? So Homeboys already had that relationship with them, and So sure enough, hey, Jokes, you want to go to Central Casting in Burbank, and like, hey, they get us for they get us for extras, you know, and it's for free because they're connected with homeboys. Yeah, let's roll. I don't care, you know me. I'm on the grind. I'm constantly whatever you say will benefit me. That's what I'm gonna do. So we go to Central Casting, me and a couple other fellas, and sure enough, that day I step in. That day, the first day I went to Central Casting, the first day I got a job. I didn't even leave the building before I got a job. Bam, because I'm taking my pictures. I fill it out. I'm taking my pictures. But see, and right when I'm done taking my pictures, one of the agents comes out like, "Hey, you want to work? You want to work tomorrow?" And I was like, "Yeah." And it was for CSI Miami. I was supposed to be a Puerto Rican. They needed Puerto Rican thugs, but I have a fade. You know, I look like a gangster, but I mean, I could go any way. You know, I look raza. So it was for a Puerto Rican thug, and yeah, that first day, and that's what kicked it off. And then from there it was NCIS, New York CSI, Cold Case, and they were calling. Central Casting was calling in, and then yeah, that's how it all started right there.
Well, I just know Richard. The thing with Richard, he doesn't just like, if he likes something, whatever it is, like in school, an example. I'm gonna go to East LA. I'm gonna get into Chicano studies. I'm gonna do. I already know Richard's just gonna go. What he's gonna do, he's just gonna go and just. So I knew that this was like, you could see it in his eyes. His eyes were just like, you know, Mom, you know, and this and that going, and you know, I'm gonna keep trying, you know, for the extras. I'm gonna keep back, you know. So that's exactly, they liked his look, you know, the tattoos, and that was cool. That's what did a lot for Richard. And then, you know, good looking young man that my son is, you know. So, and he's got that charisma. He's got that thing going on. All that, and then with all that, he still's got that. Richard has a. He knows when to say things and when not to. He doesn't overstep his bounds, if you want to say. He doesn't put himself out like, to this day. He never, he's modest, you know. He doesn't bring all that attention to him, even though when he gets it, you know, because of who he's becoming, he still doesn't. So, I don't know if he told you this, and it was a party did a cold case. I forgot her name, but this actress, and God, if I knew, let me look her up. But she, you know, she's in cold case, and one of the main actresses, and saw Richard, you know, and Richard did not know, we were talking about that earlier. He didn't know what to do with that, what he knows now, you know, and they saw, you know, wanted to, because of that look he's got, you know, but until he started getting the proper training, which is exactly what Richard ended up doing, you know. He kind of let that didn't, nothing happen. Who knows, hopefully down the line she remembers who he is. But I think about that now, where Southland, that's how he got Southland. Southland was out of natural talent. Now, it wasn't, I don't think, to me, it wasn't like he had like that natural talent, like he said something. It was his look. That was what, and it wasn't, but that was cool, because they allowed him to do that. And Richard, I remember Richard talking to when he was in front of the camera, they're trying to do this simple little thing, because he was from this gang, and that he said something on the telephone booth. He was so nervous, you know. If you know what my son was telling me at that time, when he, you know, he eventually did it, right? And if you see that take of what they did on him to where he is now, you're like, that director, I think it was the director, sees him now, they're like, man, Richard, because as soon as that was over, he goes, Mom, how much is natural talent going to take me? I said, yep. He goes, I got to go to school. So there we were, trying to figure out what school's the best. And, you know, Mom, and I go, okay, that's why he says, Mom, there I am. You know, I'm a research person. You tell me something, I'm going to look that shit up. I'm going to look it all over. I can think on even that. Damn, I got to check this out. So he knows that. So there we are. And then he goes, God, there's millions of schools, for God's sake, in Hollywood, you know. And thank God, Manny's the one. I ended up coming, okay, I know this film director, his name's Jaime, and he works at this video store. Who knows, that's where he got his degree in film, right? We've been friends forever. So I'm at this video store, and he's like, you know, when I see him normally, he goes, Lourdes, he goes, there's Rudy Carvajal, you know, he's his friend, who's a film director, has his film going on. It's called The Spanish Fly, right? And he goes, and this lady who tried out for this part, you know, she didn't turn out. He says, but I know you can do this. And I'm like, moi? You know, I'm like, no. He goes, but your personality, Lourdes, I know you. I've known you for, he goes, I think, oh, well, if you think I can do it, cool. I mean, it wasn't like, not that I want to be an actress because I don't, but I'm like, I'm a writer, so I understand characters, So there I go. My first time on set. That's how I met Manny. Small world. So here we are, we do our thing, whatever. So Jaime's like, says, Lord, this is Manny. This is Richard's mom, And then that whole thing comes, he goes, I know Richard. He's from Suspect Entertainment, right? Manny Jimenez. So with all that, it's like how life is. So how did we get where Richard ended up going to the New York Film Academy out of a million other schools was that I told Manny, I would love you to meet my boy, We're trying to find, a school, that kind of stuff. And he's like, oh, now he doesn't know Richard. He goes, we set it up. It was him and I always like texting and then calling. And we ended up meeting at Denny's right here by where Twin Towers is, Denny's. Well, it used to be. Not Denny's there anymore. Well, at that time. So there we meet. And, Richard's like excited. I'm excited. He's excited. And that whole time, interesting how life is, Manny was doing it on a favor for me, him not knowing me, because I reminded him of his mother who had passed away. That all she tried to do for him and how life is, because otherwise Manny probably wouldn't have met Richard, you know what I mean, or set that up. And because of that moment, Richard will never forget, and I won't forget, when he says, you are an empire. That didn't take effect till maybe 6 months later, those words. When he heard it, wow, okay. And Richard was like, wow, okay. But he's the one that said, at first he was going to set them up together. Let's do this together. But then he kind of backed out because some stuff was going on with Manny. Cool. But it wasn't meant for that. It was meant for him to give us the New York Film Academy. And he says, I recommend this school. That's where Richard went. 6-week course, $600. We're like, let's take it out of our pockets because it was $600 for 6 weeks, So it's like, we got to figure this out. So Richard started, and that's when he got into scene study. And then that whole thing came up with A Better Life, Jamie, and so how life is.
Yeah, I was talking for sure. My mom's she's a what do they call it? Movie buff. She's a straight movie buff. So I mean, her going to Hollywood, like, I mean, truthfully, like it hurt the my fiance, but I was like, hey, if I go to the red carpet, I was like, I'm taking moms, like that's moms, like, and she was like, I mean, my girl knows, she respects that though, because, from the beginning, mom's always been there, so I got to.
Yeah, even before that, just seeing him on the trailer, his voice, he kept telling me, Mom, I'm gonna be on screen. And I thought, thank you, God. Thank you, God. Yeah, and whether he's on screen or not, he's my boy. And all that's great, for him. And if you only knew how beyond proud of him. But for Mom, as long as he's doing the right thing that makes him happy, that's all that matters to me. And this is making him happy. I'm cool with that.